The prices of used diesels has gotten absolutely astronomical. $25,000 for 200,000 mile examples. And some of them are even rusted out.
It's almost like people forgot the time when diesel was so expensive that they had to have a gas motor. The time when this existed.
There are 6 liters all over the place. Heck, even 5.3s. And I'm not dismissing them. They're really great engines, but none of them really stack up to this. This is GM's big block of the early 2000s, the 8.1 liter V8. These things come by a dime a dozen. There might be a little bit more common in the trucks. However, here in the Suburban, I truly think this is the cream of the crop tow vehicle.
Hello everyone and welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Todd. My son Austin and I, we make all sorts of videos on all sorts of different cars. We do everything from clapped out $5,000 daily drivers to $100,000 high performance cars. We even do the best tow rig you can find for under $10,000. But let me tell you something, a lot of you really appreciate our videos, you like them, but what you don't do is hit the subscribe button. 97% of you, in fact, have not hit that subscribe button. Do us a favor, hit the button. Now, let's start hauling. I just put my phone down after looking on Kelley Blue Book and looking at the value of this 2001 Chevrolet Suburban 2500 with the 8100 liter Vortec V8 in it, captain's chairs, leather, a very nice vehicle for 2001. And what I found with 130,000 miles on this amazing two-wheel drive example is Kelley Blue Book only values this vehicle anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000.
And this is so much truck to have in that price point. Now, not only does it have 3 rows of seats, the 3rd row is completely removable. So you get this massive amount of trunk space. Second, sitting in the 2nd row, these actually recline. You have a way of kind of reclining back here and you can completely chill out. And it is so comfortable back here. You even have a place to put headphones in back in 2001, kind of crazy. And it is just so nice in here. You get 2nd row climate, the most plush, comfortable leather that you can think of. I don't know what GM was doing in this day and age, but their seats are more comfortable in this day and age than they are in now modern cars. And the back seat isn't what is the only thing that is good. Because if we go ahead and hop up front, both the driver and the passenger get their both individual armrests in these seats. I mean, I don't know if there's a single person out there that wouldn't agree that this is one of the most comfortable vehicles that there just is. It doesn't have massage, no. It doesn't have cooling seats or anything crazy like that. The fact that you can sit in this thing like it's a lazy boy, it's just so comfortable. It's crazy. And there's just something that has nostalgia to this cluster. I don't think there's a single person out there that hasn't had some experience screwing around with this radio, with this climate control, or looking at this gauge cluster. There's just so many of these out on the road that everyone knows how to use them. They always work. They're super easy and intuitive to use. And this is just a comfortable vehicle that's put together so well. As you can see here, 25 years later, this thing is just clean as can be and has the most high quality interior. I mean, yeah, it's a bunch of plastic and everything, but the fact that it's still as comfortable as it is just incredible.
It's not just the nostalgia of the dashboard that makes the 8100 Suburban appealing or the comfort of those captain's chairs. The fact of the matter is the 9th generation Suburban that we're looking at from 2000 to 2006, 8100 available in 01. It's the fact that there's no thrills here. You have what you need. The fanciest thing that you could get on this Suburban is heated seats. There's no parking sensors, there's no backup cameras, there's no navigation screens, there is no high-tech items to break here. All you have is a extremely reliable vehicle that can tow a fair amount, carry a fair amount, and can do it reliably for hundreds of thousands of miles.
And all of that is thanks to this 496 cubic inch big block, the last big block that was ever put in production on a GM vehicle just straight from the factory. You can still, of course, purchase a big block crate motor from GM, but right out of the factory, this is the last one. And it really is such a fantastic motor. And one of my favorite parts about it is its ease to work on. It's just so easy. It's so simple. And the access to the spark plugs is super easy, which you better get used to because they recommend changing them relatively often here in the 8.1 liter. And they also are known for some intake manifold gasket issues and some other minor stuff, but everything that could go wrong with this engine, you could pretty much fix within an hour or two inside of your garage with basic parts from your local parts store, and watch a video on YouTube on how to do it. It's just bare bones, easy to work on, and it makes good power too. But what really matters is the torque, 455 pound-feet, which it makes really down low in the RPM range because it was built to go up against the diesels of the time.
It was. It was introduced when diesel prices were high and gas prices were low, and this was the competition to offer a competitive tow rig to the market. Ultimately, you could tow 12,000 pounds approximately, vary slightly depending on configuration, and you could do it for anywhere from 8 to 12 miles per gallon depending on wind and what your load actually is. The funny thing is if you take a trailer off and you're towing nothing, the best you will get with the 8100 in ideal conditions is about 14 miles to the gallon, but even that is wishful thinking in some scenarios.
I think a big part of that is because of the transmissions it's hooked up to, which is a legendary transmission, and it's actually very well known in the aftermarket racing world. The 4L80E, and this one's beefed up to handle the additional torque. The 4L80E is one of the most well-known transmissions that people put in drag cars and automatic cars that they build for the road that have 800, 1,000 horsepower, because you can easily go inside of them and upgrade them. Well, at least transmission technicians can.
Right.
You start taking those things apart, it's like wizardry to me how automatic transmission works. But it is just an incredibly durable transmission, a super durable engine, and two of the most common powertrains available that pretty much anyone can work on. So it's hard to beat this package right here for the price point that you can buy them at.
Here's the reality though, this is a 2001. Yes, it was a 2500, a 3/4 ton is what that means. So you would think that this is an overly excessive tow rig, but the reality is everything advances and technology advances as well. When you have a trailer behind you, knowing this isn't a diesel, what I can tell you is it still isn't going to be very often that you're going to see those RPMs over 3,000 RPMs. This motor does work a little harder when you have a decent sized load behind it. What I will say when you don't have a load behind the 2500, 8100 Suburban is that it is an absolute joy to drive. You just barely touch that gas pedal. You ease into the gas pedal and the power delivery is so effortless. There is so much torque there that it's almost hard to describe how effortless it is to drive compared to a turbo vehicle or just so many other vehicles that are out there. But for comparison's sake, let's compare this to a 2015 F-150. This is when the F-150 was introduced with a 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine. This was a very capable pickup truck. It could tow actually more than this 3/4 ton Suburban. Configured properly, F-150 in 2015 could tow over 13,000 pounds. About 1,000 pounds more than this 2500 Suburban could tow from the 9th generation. However, one thing that is interesting is the payload on the Suburban was about 1,000 pounds more. So you can fit at least 2 more people in it, depending on seat configuration. And you can also put some more gear in the vehicle itself. So yeah, you maybe can't tow the travel trailer that is quite as big, but inside of your vehicle, you can haul more people and more stuff, and you can do it a lot more reliably.
I want to talk about the history of this Suburban because this Suburban is special to us. It means something to us. And I was kind of hoping to have your guys' help down in the comments below on what we should do with this Suburban. But first, let's just talk about where this thing came from. This is our Suburban. It's been in our family since new. My grandpa bought this Suburban and he just loved this thing. It was truly his pride and joy. He was a massive car collector. He had Challengers, Corvettes, and he was the type of guy that left the plastic on everything. This Suburban he would hand wash right in the middle of a snowstorm after driving it home. He would only drive it with his white gloves on. Not even kidding. That's not some gimmick. It is just that clean and that pristine. And there's other ones out there that are in the same condition, which is really cool about this generation of Suburban. But the whole point that I'm trying to make here is we've had this a long time and we love this thing. I just think it looks so cool in this beautiful victory red color over that really cool like tannish interior. And it's also rare being the 8100 series, but this one isn't four-wheel drive like you can find, but it is also rear-wheel drive. So definitely an uncommon spec for the 8.1. But we really want to kind of mod this thing out and have it be a fun tow rig that we can take to car events and maybe on this long road trip that we take every year called the Hot Rod Power Tour. I want your help down in the comments below on if it would be an interesting video series to see one of these with a kind of a built motor. Maybe not do anything crazy. It's never going to be all that fast, but just go really for the sound and the driving feel. Yeah. Should we do heads cam in this thing and build the 4L80? Should we figure out how to be one of the first ones to lower a 2500 Suburban of this generation? There are no kits out there and there are very few of them that people have custom made. Is that something that we should dig into? Would you enjoy a build series on this Suburban to make it a tow rig rat rod type of thing? I think it'd be really unique, but I want to know if you guys would be interested as well. Let us know down in the comments below.
So we definitely have a lot of nostalgia and a lot of love for this specific Suburban, but that doesn't take away from the fact that these are something that you should definitely consider if you're looking for that ultimate tow rig under $5,000, especially under $10,000. You can find these quite often. Back to my comments on miles per gallon, that is something that a lot of people will stray you. Back to my comment on miles per gallon, that is something that will stray a lot of people away from the 2500 Suburban, 10, 13 miles per gallon. That's horrible. An F-150 that we were comparing this to earlier could get 16, 17 miles per gallon if there is no load in it. If you put a load behind an F-150 of that generation, it's essentially going to get very similar gas mileage to the 2500 Suburban. So you really have to ask yourself if you're willing to risk the reliability or if you really need some of that additional tech to have a pickup truck versus this amazing Suburban that could be yours for potentially under $10,000.
And there's so many really cool groups out there, specifically around the 8.1 liter on Facebook, and there are just a lot of people that are truly passionate about these vehicles. I just would love for you guys to share this video with your friends and get the word out there, because it's so crazy to me how many people I bring up that this vehicle has an 8.1 V8 to, and they just have no idea that that ever even existed. It really is a uncommon engine in the world of LS and LT engines, the big LS swapped world that we live in. Not many people know that this engine exists. So be sure to share this around out there and just tell me what your guys' thoughts are on this Suburban down in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this video, and we'll see you guys next time. And if you're interested in the full history and the full story behind the Suburban, be sure to check out the video up in the corner.